Hello everybody, how's it going? I'm going to be walking through this new go-kart. This is a free go-kart that I got for, I believe, doing some work on a trailer. For the most part, it still seems to be pretty decent. So this build is going to be a restore. I don't really like doing restores, but all right. Now this is the machine in question. Some of you guys might have seen me talking about it on my most recent live streams. But what it is I have no idea what make and model this thing is. There's no stickers anywhere. There's nothing to give any identification to it. The engine is a 301, and I'm assuming, and the engine is obviously newer than the kart itself. They rewired it up to a switch up in front here. So this little switch back here does not work. I kind of half-assed tried to start it the other day, but it didn't start. This bar right here, it's the same steel, but I can't, it's got holes right here, so I'm assuming that it's got mounting holes here and mounting holes here, so I'm assuming that there was a bar that came out and arced down. So that's gone. Another thing is that all of the holes have spray foam in them. Somebody filled up the frame with spray foam, and I'm not too sure why they would do that. I would assume probably to stop it from rusting on the inside. But the problem with that is there's no venting. So that would mean that condensation that builds up in the pipes, you know, at night while it's sitting there, and it gets cool, the steel gets cool, and then the sun comes out, and there's no ventilation, then any condensation in there is going to just, occur, it's just going to build up and then rust out the pipe on the inside if there's no way for air to flow through there. So I'm assuming that's what they were attempting to do by filling up, and there's this stuff is everywhere. One right there, that's filled up. These ones on the top, they're filled up. It's just, yeah, not too sure why they did that. Now it showed up without an axle. So there's no axle, no rear tires. We'll get up into the front here in a little bit, but for the rear end here, the shocks seem to be okay. I have the frame sitting on a cinder block back here, so it's not sitting on the swing arm. The torque converter is a 20 series, and yeah, I don't know if I like that idea, but yeah, it's a 20 series. It has the pitch on both sides. See, if I bring the camera right above the torque converter, you can see how it's got an angle here and it's an angle here. So this is a 20 series, and this belt, I can tell you right now, is way too tight. It should not be tight like that, and I don't even think it even has a bushing in there. I'm gonna have to take that off and see. This belt should not be as tight as it is. Now this here on the other side, on the right side of the machine here, still got this piece of plastic here, and we can see that the jack shaft over here behind the, geez, it's hard to see this screen. You got the pulley over here, you got the driven, you got the jack shaft coming over here. So maybe I'll take these screws out of this plastic, take the plastic off, and we can see if we've got a gear on the end of here. Yeah. Yeah, these are just machine screws, so there's no nut on the back. Oh wait, I guess I don't have to take it off. I probably could just stick my hand underneath there. Yeah, there's a sprocket there, but I want to see what tooth it is. Okay, it looks like it's a 40 tooth. Jesus. Really tight. That dang belt is so dang tight on that thing. I can't even rotate this. Looks like it's still in relatively good condition. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 tooth. Looks like it's a 40. 10 tooth 40. Or no, 41. Yeah, it's a little thinner. Huh. Alright. Let me see if I can get that belt off and see how well these bearings are working in this jack shaft. Alright, well, now we're going to probably easier to take the torque converter off to get that belt off, because yeah. But what is that? Crap. Shoot, do I have something that big? Oh, yeah, I don't have anything that big. Normally people will... Oh. Normally you take the spark plug out and you put a bunch of rope inside to help get this out, but yeah. Oh. Yeah, double work. Shoot, I might have to do it that way. Dang it, I don't want to do it that way. Alright, well, maybe I can rotate. Come on. Jesus. Oh, man. Yeah, that's been on there for a while. There's rust on the belt here. Dude, that would need to have some serious cleaning to it. I still can't get the torque converter off. I mean, the driven. Oh. Jeez, did these impact put that thing on or what? Of course, it's probably all rusted in there and everything, but... Yeah, definitely I'm going to have to take this jack shaft apart and replace all this with a 30 series. Maybe. See, the problem is that they put a 20 series on an engine that has a lot more oomph for these 20 series to be able to handle. And I don't know. I might have to get methodical with this thing. Alright, so now we're going to jump to the front end here. It's just a single A-arm with a shock. And you'll see here that it appears that the shock is not... They squished this together. They didn't get spacers and put spacers in here to align this shock directly in the middle of this bracket, because you can see how deformed this bracket is. I don't know if you guys can see it on the video here. Let me bring this up a little bit. Okay, you can see how the shock is deformed. The shock is at an angle. That means there's too much tension on the shock for this mount. But yeah, well, I don't think that's going to be much of a problem. I'll probably take this, disconnect this, bend this out, and put in some spacers, put in some washers in there to make this more in line, because I can tell that this just is not, the alignment here isn't very good. But something else I'm going to point out to you. Now, I've heard of people doing this. I've never done it myself. I'd like to do it, but this shows you what happens when you haven't practiced enough. All right, if you guys can hear that hum in the background, that's my radio. I had to turn down the radio. See what they've, trying to rotate this, rotate the wheel here. What they've done here is they've taken this turf tire, which is off of a lawnmower, and they have apparently, see the hole drilled in it right here? They've apparently stuck foam in there, but to fill up the tire. But the problem with that is that it appears that they only have one hole, and that's not the way you're supposed to do that with the tires. You're supposed to drill one hole here, a fourth, draw 4 holes. And some people do more than 4 holes, but you fill one up, and then you fill another one up, and then you fill another one up, and then you fill another one up. And as it expands, it fills the whole tire cavity. And you can see here that the foam at this entry point has filled up just right to this section. The middle has no foam. There's no foam over here. None at all. And yeah, there's some down in here, but it's all on only one side. Now, I'm going to point something out here that I've never seen anybody do on a video when it comes to filling your tires up with foam. If you do this and you put the tire and you put the holes in, Redneck Computer Geek also did this on one of his videos, and there's a few other people who've done the same thing. I, personally, if I ever do this, and I do it on video, and I'll show you guys, I will take the tire off, I'll put it on an axle, and I will spin it. I will put it on a some type of electric motor that causes the tire to spin, not fast, but a slow spin, so that way as it fills up, it'll fill up evenly. Because when doing it in this fashion, you get points where it just fills up and you end up with cavities, but you want to be able to fill the entire tire up to the point where there are no cavities. Now, another way of doing it also is to, when you put the holes on one side, and it's going to be your fill side, you want to put some holes on the opposite side where the air can escape. And maybe fill it from the bottom. Put the tire down, and then stick your nozzle of your spray foam up into the bottom and squirt the foam that way. So that way, as it fills up, it pushes air out the top of the top section of the tire. Because you end up with problems like this where you have just chunks of this foam in certain spots and the whole tire doesn't fill up. I also have seen people put water in their tires. That's an idea. Of course, you'd want to mix it with antifreeze, so that way in the wintertime it doesn't freeze and expand and rip the hell out of your tire. But it is a messy job. But once you can do it successfully, then you should be able to use your tire completely, even when it goes completely bald and consistently, even past the cords rip out and everything, all the way down to the foam. Obviously, you're going to change the tire before that, of course, yeah. But this is a sloppy outcome. This is somebody cheaping out. Well, maybe they didn't have the money. Maybe they didn't have the money or the know-how to do this in a correct manner. But everybody's knowledge level as it is different. So, and the only way you ever really find things out is by testing it or getting knowledge from somebody else, and that's the only way you learn. That's the only way anybody ever learns, is by being shown what to do. Because when you turn around and you try doing it yourself, then, this is the outcome. Let's look at the other one. All right, now this one is a different tire. It's still a 15 by 8 by 6, just like the other tire is, but the tread is different. And this is a Carlisle, and the other one was a oh yeah, the other one is a Carlisle. But this one definitely looks like a definite off-road tire because of the grip, or because of the tread. The other one is, you know, a lawn turf tire off of a front end of a lawn tractor. This one here is legit, but it appears that, jeez, I'm gonna have to check out this steering because she's not very user friendly. I can't even rotate this. Holy crap! They filled it up through the nozzle. All right. Okay. Crack. Okay, this is where it starts. This is where the foam is at right here. There's a dead spot right there. There's another spot. There's a chunk here. Chunk. It's solid. Yeah, but you see, it's solid right here on the outside of the tire. But when you get around the other side, in the middle of the tire, there's the nozzle. See, it's solid. There's a chunk of it right here. Yeah, that's empty right there. See, that's the problem with using this foam stuff if you don't do it right. But you know, you live and you learn. Hopefully, whoever had this machine before learned the right way, learned from this experience. Because the thing is when you have chunks of foam in your tires and you start going fast, your whole machine starts to rock because it's all unweighted. So yeah, I need to figure out what the heck's wrong with the steering. Why doesn't it want to turn anything? First time I ever sat in it. I can't adjust the seat, even though this is an adjustable seat. Doesn't here, like, adjust it. Okay, brakes not working, obviously. Oh, wow. Maybe we'll take this cover off right here and look at this steering mechanism a little bit. I've had a few people coming in here. We've been working on stuff, and strangely enough, I get some of my tools disappearing. So I had to make sure that I just spray painted yellow on all my tools, so that way I know which ones are mine, you know, because I end up losing some stuff. All right, these are 3/8. Alright, I'll probably want to put an extra spacer behind that so it doesn't have so much clay in it. And see, there's so much play in this shaft right here, and that's what causes so much play in these teeth. Whoa, that's not good. That's way too much turning there. I'm gonna have to play around with these tie rods a little bit. That should not be going that far. Well, I'll have to measure those out because that's not Whoa. All right, maybe those bearings are bad. Hold on, I gotta prop this thing up. And I'm gonna have to get new bearings. Probably would help if I were to angle the camera so you guys can actually see what I'm doing here. Okay. Yeah, new bearings. Probably for both tires. Might as well. You have to measure the distance on these two tie rods. Looks like this one tie rods look alright, but I don't like the yeah, this tie rod is a little bit too short. When I have this pitman arm here directly straight up and down right here, I can tell by looking at this tire is turned out more, which means this tie rod, since it connects in the rear end, in the trailing portion of the kingpin, this tie rod is too short, causing the tire to go out this way, to toe out. So this is going to need to be lengthened. And, well, technically I've got tires that I could probably use, and they're turf tires, and I'll just swap these out, throw them away. I don't even think well, I don't know, it depends. I'm gonna hack off the rubber and then look at how good the rims are. But if the rims have all that foam all caked all over them, I think that foam dissolves with gas, don't it? I think if I were to, if I cut the rubber off, take the rubber off, and there's that foam all over the steel rim, I should be able to use gasoline, get a little tub of gasoline, and the gasoline should dissolve that stuff off. I think. Maybe it's I don't know. Maybe it's the bearings that's causing all that. I don't know. Okay. Well, this stuff here definitely needs to be tightened up. Crap. This is welded on here. This isn't. Oh. I won't be able to take this apart without cutting the hell out of it, and I don't want to do that. But I might be able to. Bring the camera over here so you guys can see this. Okay, I obviously can't take this plate off, and the plate is welded to this pitman arm right here that comes down to this. But you see all that play in there? I think what I might be able to do is get another washer, cut out a notch in it, slide it down in there, and tack it to this one, so that one we'll get rid of all that play. 'Cause I don't like that. See that? See, I can't take that apart without hacking the heck out of the thing, and I don't want to do that. So I could put a shim in here, you know, another washer, cut out a notch in the washer and slide it in there and tack it. Get rid of all this play that's in this thing. Or maybe I could even do it up here. And then do the same thing on the back end of this rod so we don't have this crap happening. And that'll take out a lot of the play that's in this steering. I like these foot pedals. These are really stout. I like those. There's like half-inch rod right there. Here's the switch. It's an up and down, on and off switch. And it appears that there's only 2 bolts that's holding the steering wheel on. So we're going to have to deal with that. Yeah. Now obviously this machine must have had a front roll cage also, because you can see the mounting points right here. And it probably went up and made connection up there, and then arced around that and then went down to the back end. And we don't have those. That's alright, because that's perfect for mounting lights. Yeah. Yeah, this is the other shock mount too. See, it's the same type of thing. I squished it together. Well, you guys, that's pretty much about it. I'm probably sure I'm going to find more. It's probably looking all cloudy right now in the video, but if anybody knows what make and model of machine this is, that would really be helpful. Not too sure how I'm going to get this dang driver off of for this torque converter. Not too sure how I'm going to do that. Probably might have to maybe even heat it up with a torch or something. But yeah, I don't know. So far we need to get a 30 series for this, replace the bearings in the jack shaft, replace the bearings in the tires, get new tires, stiffen up the steering a little bit. I think the shocks are okay. I'm pretty sure the shocks are alright.